organizational skills. She gets things done. You do it her way and you just shut your mouth and everything will be fine. And that's, I think there's a lot good to be said about that. You need people who take over at times and just get the job done. And Martha has succeeded in every department she's been in. She's kind of outgrown it and she's moved on to the next department and she's done a great job. So the consistency is there. So that's, I think what we have in this group of people is people who really want to get the job done, want to help, and are consistent. And I think that's really a tribute to all of them. So I think we should all give them a round of applause. So, usually I call out all the city department heads that are here, but in order to save a little bit of time, because we're going to just extend the program a little bit today, I just want those department heads who are here to stand up and we can give them a round of applause. Thank you. And I think they deserve applause because they are the inspiration, I think, for a lot of the good work that happens in this community. So our next speaker is the Mayor of Cambridge, Henrietta Davis. Henrietta has been a champion of public service and I think is a true believer in the fact that this city is successful because of the people who work here and their hard work. And I'd like to ask Mayor Davis to come forth and say a few words.
Thank you, Richard. Well, this is really a wonderful day for us on the City Council. This is the day that we get to celebrate all of you who have made such a difference for the city. And I know that all of my colleagues will want to make a remark, make their own remarks. But on behalf of myself and collectively for all of us, the main thing that I want to say is thank you. I began my connection with the city as a city employee in the Community Development Department. And I don't think everybody knows that, but I spent time in community development and I kind of know what goes on behind the scenes there. And I know how important that work, which sometimes doesn't get all the flash like what Cliff does, is the underpinnings of the kind of planning and going forward that we do as a city. I want to thank the families of all the employees who are being honored today because you're the ones who send them off in the morning or the middle of the night in the case of some of these folks, and support them as they do the work that makes this city such a great place. I know we're honoring individuals today, but an outstanding achievement by individuals. Each one of you has had the opportunity to have the glories of what you've done explained. But I bet that I heard all of you say that what you do is made that much more important by working in a department that brings that action together. And it's that collective action of the great individuals with their outstanding efforts and the wonderful departments that work together with each other that make a city that wins us awards week after week after week. I don't know how many of you saw that last Sunday, suddenly I got a message. I don't think it was a tweet, but it was it was kind of those drop-down things that comes on my iPhone. It says, Cambridge is the #1 city in Massachusetts to live in. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Who said that? But I agree. Absolutely. It is the #1 city. And the reason it's the #1 city is because our employees make it the #1 city. It doesn't happen by itself. It happens by the individual efforts of each of you, the departmental efforts that underpin you, and all of us working together, yes, even the city council. I mean, we're all in it together. We all make this a great city, and I couldn't be more proud to be the mayor of the city of Cambridge, Massachusetts. Way to go. I think we're going to have a moment to reflect on our most outstanding employee, Bob Healy, but we'll leave that for a little bit. I want to, at this time, introduce my colleagues and give them, each of them, a chance to speak. And I'll start with Craig Kelly here. Craig?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Looking at the individuals who got awards, we've got it all covered from rats to a homeless population to the challenges of snow removal. and beyond. And how it gets done at the level it gets done is very impressive on your efforts and the efforts of those who work with you and the families who support you. I say thank you very much.
Councilor Marr?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you on behalf of the people of Cambridge for the fine work that you all do. And I think that you're all examples of the high quality of work that goes on in this great city. Cambridge is a wonderful, wonderful city, but it is the wonderful city because of the great work that's being done, and we thank you all for your contribution to that. Thank you.
Councilor Reeves?
Despite the moment of my arrival, I wouldn't have missed this for anything. And 4 of you I know too terribly well, and so I know the quality of the group. It's good to come to award ceremonies when everyone who is honored is really a treasure. So, you know, as we go forward in the city, it's important to remember that we serve the greatest citizens on earth, and you are examples of who should be serving them. So thank you for being exemplary, and continue as we go forward. And I won't say the Bob Healy remarks, but I was here at a time when we didn't recognize employees, and I think since we have begun to do it, the quality of everything has gone very high. So thank you.
Councilor Decker?
Thank you. So I think the theme here is it's really important for all of you to know how much we really understand. This city is really only as great as it is because of the work that you do. You are what makes the city so important to so many people who live here and people around the country. You are why this city is such a great, lovable place to be. And we know that, and I just think it's important that you're doing your jobs every day, and sometimes it's challenging because of us on the council or because of the constituents you're serving, but it is really important to all of us on the council that you know how much we appreciate. You're often the first point of, you're often the first experience that people have in this community, and the experience that they have and what they think about the city often really is at your fingertips. And as Mayor Davis just said, we've been recognized as one of the most livable cities in the country and most desirable cities in the country. So I just want to thank all of you for what you do. And I also want to note that Dan has been retweeting some stuff, but has refused to retweet my congratulations to him. Everyone else is getting retweeted. But just thank you all so much for loving the city, loving the people of the city, and really just loving your job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to take a moment to also recognize school committee member Alice Turkel, who's here with us this evening. Thanks, Alice. And Fred Fantini, who wouldn't miss a party. Councilor Chung.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to say congratulations. I'm just really filled with gratitude and pride, and I'm really just touched to hear how touched people in their speeches were to receive this award. And I think it's because this isn't just any award, this isn't just any city, this isn't just any CEO. Bob demands an extremely high level of excellence from all of his employees. I think there's a incredibly high bar throughout the entire city. You know, we see it firsthand from the deputies. He kind of frowns on it when we try to talk to employees directly, but we sometimes go behind his back. So I know that every single person in the city takes their job, has a lot of pride and care and conviction in their job. And for you to be recognized just speaks volumes that you could be awarded in a city which already has such a high bar of excellence. So thank you so much, because I think you inspire all of us to take our jobs that much more seriously and to really go the extra mile every single day. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Chung. And just one more note, I see Claude Jacob here, and this reminds me of something that just got hung in my office, which is a weaving that the Public Health Department did in honor of receiving the Robert Wood Johnson Award for the best community collaboration in the country. And what the department did is they took strings of practically all of us in this room and wove them all together to make a beautiful sun-like object that talks about how working together we all make something beautiful. And I want to thank the Public Health Department, but thank all of you for weaving together and making something beautiful of the city of Cambridge. Thank you very much.
So just a couple of logistical matters. Again, when we finish, if those who receive the awards would come up for a photograph, and to make sure all of you do not pass the food line as you depart the building, we'd like you to enjoy that. At this time, I'm going to ask members of the city manager's office to come up here, please, if they would. If you don't know who you are, I could call your name. And I think I'd like to have the assistant city managers come up. And Lisa, who worked for Bob for many years, if you'd come up. So we thought, well, actually, Mary Ellen, this was her brainstorm, and I think it's a great one. We thought that it would be appropriate, since this is Bob's final award ceremony as city manager, to recognize Bob in a small way. Just to note that when you talk about excellence in government, when you talk about dedication as a city employee, when you talk about always trying to do the right thing that is beneficial to the community, whether that's programs that help the homeless or the unfortunate, whether that's improving the schools, whether that's making this a better community with its buildings and roads, public safety services, we can go on and on and on. I mean, I think it's going to be very tough in the future for anyone to even come close to Bob Healy's records and achievements in doing that. And 32 years ago, Bob became city manager on July 1st, 1981. If my math is right, that's 32 years ago, right? 32 years ago. And Bob took the job on the first day of Proposition 2.5. And at that time, he was asked to cut $12 million out of the city budget in his first year as city manager. And that's all he could focus on, was getting this job and having to think about, in a year here, I'm going to have to come up with a budget that's going to be $12 million less. And $12 million in those days was a much, much bigger hit than it would be today. And he started out in a city that had a suspended bond rating, so we really couldn't go out and borrow money. We had no real capital improvement plan, so nothing was happening in terms of big construction projects. We were in a free cash deficit, as I remember it, and it wasn't until Bob courageously, I think, settled the B&M case where we were able to go to the good side of free cash. So, today we have, I don't know, Louis, what's the current number? 100 Louis says it quietly, it's 114 million. It's $114 million. So, he went from a deficit to $114 million surplus for the citizens of Cambridge. I think that's a remarkable task. So financially, Bob was able to, I think, to put this city in a place that no other city in this Commonwealth may ever achieve. And he also had the task at that time of putting together an administration that might come up with the idea that working together as a team would be a good idea. In those days, that was not quite the case, and it was much more of a challenge as a manager. Bob did this when he was 37 years old, and I would think today, if you're 37 years old, as smart as you might be, and you probably have a minimal amount of experience, but that's a pretty awesome task to be handed to somebody when they're 37 years old. He also had to build a relationship and confidence with the city council, and he worked hard to do that. In those days, the council was very much divided with rent control. It was 5-4, and it was tough. It was tough, but I think he was able to do a lot of things that made that whole process move forward. He was also challenged with building a relationship with the major universities and institutions and the Chamber of Commerce. And I think he took that task on, and I think he's done a remarkable job in trying to bring the whole city together. He was also challenged with, doing all this and really being a supporter of the school system in Cambridge. And again, as someone had said earlier, Bob was a former educator, and I think that part maybe came a little bit easier for him than, the average person might think. But he always recognized that. The other thing I think he did that was remarkable was taking programs that really didn't exist. I think of things like childcare, I think of things like recycling, things that just were not in a place in Cambridge, and being open-minded enough to listen to people who had those bright ideas about what was the right thing to do. And, being courageous enough to put forth recommendations. And we've watched these programs grow and grow and grow. I remember another thing, which was it was going to become the abandonment of the Community Learning Center. And the school department was facing major budget cuts and had eliminated the Community Learning Center as part of its budget. And Bob Healy took that on as a city program and has watched it grow. And it's taken a long time, but we now have what I would call a respectable home, something to be proud of for the Community Learning Center, which does great work in our community. So I think I could go on and on and on about the challenges he faced and the bold steps that he took to make this city a great city. And the other thing about Bob is I think some people think sometimes, well, maybe he's not that friendly or whatever. Bob Healy is a shy guy, and that's what that's about. It's not that he's not friendly. I can make Bob Healy laugh all day long. He loves to laugh. But there is, and there's times when he does not like to laugh. But there is a shyness about Bob Healy that people, I think, need to understand. So sometimes when people walk by, they say, "Hi, Bob." He goes, "Hi, how you doing?" That is nothing but shyness. And it doesn't mean he's not thankful that people, stop to say hi or recognize him. I think it's just, it's just the way he is. So if you get to know Bob Healy, you get to appreciate him. And I think most of us here have really got to know Bob Healy. And I think the community owes him a really big round of applause for what I consider to be an incredible effort that has gone on here for 32 years. And it is a record that, as I said in the beginning, I doubt will ever be beaten. So we can all work hard and strive to equal that, and I think that's a great goal for all of us. And I think that to be able to retire from an organization after all those years and say that I left it in A1 shape, that I've left it in great condition, that it should move forward flawlessly, is a remarkable, remarkable legacy. So on behalf of all of us who've worked directly for Bob, for our city department heads, for the employees in the city, and I think I could speak today for the first time. I'd be able to speak on behalf of the city council, which I would say. Thank you, Henrietta. But Henrietta, you're only one vote. It needs to be full. I mean, that's okay. So I would say that we all applaud Bob Healy and what he has done for the city of Cambridge. And I'm going to ask Mary Ellen to give me this little. Where are you? Okay, it's right here. Okay, this little memento that we have got for Bob, and I think we're going to ask him to open it, and then we're going to ask Bob to say a few words. Because of all the Bobbies that have been given out, I'd have to say this is the most important Bobbie we've ever given out. So this is the cover of Retirement Magazine featuring Bob Healy.
That's too funny. I guess it's really here, and now I probably have to finish filling out my retirement papers and drop them off at the retirement board. I did go up there to
see what I needed to do, and they had my paperwork ready, but they had a retirement date of June 28th, and I said, I'm sorry, I've got till June 30th. They said, no, that's on a Sunday. Nobody retires on a Sunday. And I said, well, I may be the first, but Rich, you could make me laugh all day long. I think it may be how we survived so long, working the hall across the hall from each other and in each other's office, and you have figured a way to make me laugh, which sometimes is not that easy, and I understand. Oftentimes I am preoccupied. I really do try to say hi to everybody I see. If I'm walking in the hallway and I don't say hi, it's because I'm thinking of something else at exactly the same time. It's occupational hazard of this job, I guess, where there are more things running through your mind than you can ever get to do on any given day or any given week, and you wind up, when you have a free moment, which is like walking, you're thinking of what it is you next need to do. But this isn't yet a retirement speech. I haven't quite got to that yet. But I have to say it's been a great experience, and the reason is because people like you that are in this room, the award winners, but those who are here, the families who are here, and your predecessors, the predecessors in city government in all of the departments. I think we have worked hard, and you've cooperated to understand what it is to help and be a part, but a very vital part of a great city. And that's to do your job as best as you humanly can do it. Nobody can go 140%, 100% of the time. But I see in this city people who are willing to try it. And it is so gratifying to see the accomplishments that we all have. And it's due to you. I hope that I provided some level of leadership and work ethic and model to show that that's how you have to do business if you're in public service, and maybe it got contagious. I'll always be proud of the award recipients. I know Mary Ellen knows every year I say, no, come on, we're not going to do it again. I mean, but then and she knows that I know that this is a day, as Richie said, one of the absolute best days of the year, only because it's good feel, just to see everybody's happy. I can, even I'm smiling, so it really is a great day, and thank you so much, and for whoever was so clever to put this together. It will earn a spot in my retirement wall, whatever that may be. Thank you very, very much.
So, just to prove to you that Bob is very often preoccupied, so one day, Angela, who works in the budget office, was going around asking people what would they like at Dunkin' Donuts, and she was taking their orders, and she walked up to Bob and she said, Bob, he said, take his number and tell him I'll call him later. So that is a true story. He is a preoccupied person. So with that, I want to say congratulations again to the city manager, and ask those recipients to come up for photograph. First, though, I'd like maybe Bob Coe, if you would like to take a picture of Bob Healy's team here. We could do that. Everybody gather around.
Do you want me in this picture? Yeah. I'm on your team.
Which way are we going here?
Are we going to fit?
You go in the middle, Bob.
Well, maybe we should go in front of the, should we go in front of the?
You want to get out with it?
I think, come on.
Can you get it?
Oh, a new photographer.
I know. Paparazzi.
From Hollywood. Good? All right. All right, so
Give me the camera.
Those who receive their award would come right up front here, please.